3 Israeli whistleblowers who worked at a detention camp which holds Palestinians that have been detained have spoken out at risk of legal repercussions and reprisals. Content warning, some of the descriptions are incredibly distressing. The IOF has acknowledged partially converting 3 different military facilities into detention camps. One person says, "We were told they were not allowed to move, they should sit upright, they're not allowed to talk, not allowed to peek under their blindfolds. Guards were instructed to scream uskot, shut up in Arabic, and told to pick people out that were problematic and punish them. The camps are part of the infrastructure of Israel's unlawful combatants law, an amended legislation that passed by the Knesset last December that expanded the military's authority to detain suspected militants. The law permits the military to detain people for 45 days without an arrest warrant, after which they must be transferred to Israel's former prison system, where over 9,000 Palestinians have been held in conditions that rights groups have drastically deteriorated since October 7th. 2 Palestinian Prisoners Association said last week that 18 Palestinians, including Dr. Adnan al-Burj, had died in Israel custody over the course of the war. They paint a picture of a facility where doctors sometimes amputate prisoners' limbs due to injuries sustained from constant handcuffing, of medical procedures sometimes performed by underqualified medics earning it a reputation for being a paradise for interns, and where the air is filled with the smell of neglected wounds left to rot. The facility is some 18 miles from the Gaza frontier, and it is split into 2 parts. Enclosures where around 70 Palestinians detained are placed under extreme physical restraint in a field hospital where wounded detainees are strapped to their beds, wearing diapers and fed through straws. They strip them down of anything that resembles human beings, says one whistleblower who worked as a medic at the facility's field hospital. The beatings were not done to gather intelligence. They were done out of revenge. It was a punishment for what the Palestinians did on October 7th and punishment for behavior at the camp. The IOF responded to these accusations, saying that the IOF ensures proper conduct towards detainees in custody. Yeah, right. Any allegation of misconduct by IOF soldiers is examined and dealt with accordingly. Accordingly means nothing is done. The IOF did not directly deny accounts of people being stripped of their clothes or held in diapers. Instead, the IOF said that the detainees are given back their clothing once the IOF has determined that they pose no security risk. Al-Loran, a Palestinian who holds Bosnian citizenship, headed the surgical unit at the northern Indonesian hospital, one of the first to be shut down and raided as Israel carried out its aerial, ground, and naval offensive. He was arrested on December 18th, where he had been working for 3 days after fleeing his hospital. He was stripped down to his underwear, blindfolded, and his wrists tied, then dumped in the back of a truck where, he said, the near-naked detainees were piled on top of one another as they were shuttled to a detention camp in the middle of the desert.